I'm not gonna waste my time if you're not gonna believe me. What?
No, sige.
Dark Arts TV Extra is run by Carl, an urban explorer and investigator known for venturing into the most unsettling abandoned places across the UK. In this episode, he and his friends explore a recently abandoned hospital in Scotland, a place that still feels alive with echoes of its past. The building stands silent and decayed, yet the energy inside is heavy, almost as if the walls remember what they've seen.
Oh my god, this is so creepy. A hospital bed just chilling in here. I think this is the first on our channel right now. The places we go to, the asylums usually smash to bits, but...
Oh my god. That's creepy.
As they move through the long corridors and empty wards, the team notices how untouched everything feels. Beds still in place, medical tools scattered across tables, and children's murals fading on the walls. The smell of disinfectant lingers faintly in the air, mixing with dust and decay. It's unnerving, the kind of silence that makes every sound feel amplified. Faint knocks, soft footsteps, and distant thuds begin to echo through the halls, drawing the group deeper into the darkness.
Hello?
It smells like a hospital, especially the home, doesn't it?
Yeah, proper hospital. I'm getting weird vibes in here.
I get vibes up there.
Whoa. Again. Was that that way then? That was a loud bang.
That's a door.
There was a door open. I tell you what, right? If that was genuinely no one in here, do you know what I mean? Which I highly doubt we're in the middle of nowhere. This place isn't active. And obviously we just said, can you make a sound for us? And it was like someone opening a door.
Yeah, definitely sounds like a door, didn't it?
100%, yeah. It was like when you go through a door and you let go, it's like, what the f? Yo, what, are you touching my bag?
No, then I just did, when you just jumped.
You wasn't pushing on me then?
No.
What the f?
Then I pushed on your bag because you gave me a fright. But not before that, I promise.
You wouldn't push me forward then?
No.
What the f?
Facing me. You were facing me. Couldn't
I was pointing right out, wasn't I? Honestly, it was like someone's pushing me forward.
No, because when you turned, that's when I pushed.
What the f?
Because you gave me a fright, I jumped.
I've literally gone so goosebumps right now.
I promise, I didn't touch.
Right, I'm a little bit freaked out now.
Is that light over there? Turn that off.
The real tension creeps in when they hear what sounds like a door closing on its own. The noise is sharp, deliberate, and far too loud to dismiss. Moments later, Carl feels a sudden pressure against his back, as though someone, or something, has pushed him forward. The air thickens with unease, and their voices grow quieter. The group exchanges anxious glances, realizing that whatever is in this hospital may not want them there. Still, they aren't planning on giving up just yet, but deeper inside, the atmosphere changes again.
Oh my god, it's on there. Wow.
Holy jeez.
Wow. There's a dead pigeon on the floor. Oh. God, that is creepy, isn't it?
That is a creepy thing, man.
Jesus. That was like music. I thought that was
Like a music box.
Yeah. That's coming from down there, man. Oh, I just got like a gust of cold air just hit me in the face.
That was like a music box.
The kids one, isn't it, what you used to have when you were a kid?
Yeah, let's
The
listen.
jewellery box that you wind up when you open it slightly.
Let's listen and see if we can get it again.
Yeah. I think it's like an alarm.
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the same sound.
It's an alarm.
Alarm. Yeah, it's like an alarm, it is.
A faint tune, soft, mechanical, and haunting, drifts through the air, like a child's music box playing somewhere in the dark. The sound repeats, fading in and out as if carried by the wind.
That's freaky down there.
Yeah, I can hear it more going up this way.
Smoke. Shadow creeping me out.
It is getting older. It's that noise again, do you do that?
Yeah. This is definitely a child's door.
Is it definitely child's one, eh? Oh yeah, look. It's like kid stuff.
You're talking then?
Yeah, what you were talking as well.
Female.
What they had first taken for something paranormal now seemed disturbingly human. But whether that was a comfort or a greater concern, they couldn't quite tell. Curiosity, as always, outweighed fear, pushing them to press on through the darkness, hoping for the best. But as the air grew colder and the silence heavier, it became clear that whatever waited ahead would test their nerves even further.
Wow, what the...
Oh my god, this looks really creepy. Oh my god, you're right.
What was that?
Oh, cobweb, is
Oh,
it?
Jesus Christ, cobweb. It freaked me out, that thing, 'cause it was like as if someone just walked through me, man. I was just... That just scared the living daylights out of me. Oh, god damn, it's cobweb central in here.
That's why I always make you walk first.
God damn. Gonna have to get me up for this. Dead end.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
What's that?
What?
Is what?
What's that?
Right, guys, I've literally stopped the recording just as it happened. I think Sam's got it on his.
Might have got it, I'm not sure.
People laughing.
Hush.
Shh. I get fucking here.
Yeah, he said, oi, get back in here. And it stopped. Hey, do you know what it was like? I get back in here, and the next thing it's like a scream. I'm glad you've got it, because honestly, I just literally, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep my camera recording all times. I think I just seen a light down there, bro. Oh, this is getting too weird now.
Why would there be like people shouting and screaming here?
It doesn't make any sense.
It was clear now. Someone was outside, and they didn't sound friendly. The group froze, unsure of what to do next. No one wanted to make a move that might draw attention or put them in danger. For a moment, they stood in silence, straining to hear through the darkness, waiting to see if the voices would return, or if whoever was out there would come closer.
Right, we should head back down now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they do come in this
I know
way,
there's
we're
ways
trapped.
to go.
We're trapped.
Yeah, that's it. Let's keep going.
Tell me, keep my lights off or what?
Yeah, let's just try and roll with no lights on for now. That was too weird. Just watch these steps. Right, so guys, we're literally just trying to review the footage now. That was someone shouting, 100%.
There's a scream after it.
There's a scream after it as well. It's so strange.
Strange.
So obviously, after having a quick review of the footage itself, I can't see literally being anyone here. You know, we're in the middle of nowhere. It's next to impossible. You know, we drove miles to get here today, and I don't know, man. That's just freaked us out. But we checked about. There's no one around apart from a van just turning around. I don't know. That was
really scary.
That was nuts out on
Yeah.
that. I just don't understand that.
It's like aggressive.
When the team finally made it back to the van, the adrenaline had barely faded. As they reviewed the footage, the distant shouts and a woman's scream they'd heard inside became clearer. Human, not paranormal. But considering how remote the hospital was, the thought of real people wandering outside in the dark felt even more unsettling. No one had followed them in, and yet, someone had clearly been out there. The group debated whether they had stumbled upon locals, trespassers, or something else entirely. None of them could shake the feeling that those voices hadn't been random. Still, Carl's curiosity won out over caution. He promised they would return to the hospital, this time better prepared to uncover the truth behind those shouts in the night. Until then, the question lingers. Were they simply not as alone as they thought, or had they brushed too close to something that didn't want to be found? Now, with that question lingering, we head from one hospital to another, where one man explores alone at 3 a.m., only to find out he wasn't that alone after all. And that man is the owner of D-Dog Vlogs, an explorer who has built a reputation for pushing the limits of fear, venturing into forgotten places that most people wouldn't dare to enter, especially alone. In this episode, he returns to an abandoned hospital he'd explored before, but this time under far darker conditions. It's just after 3 a.m., the hour most investigators call the witching hour, when, according to legend, the boundary between the living and the dead grows thin.
It is so quiet in here by yourself. Let's get into the video. Guys, I'm gonna put my backpack right here at the front entrance just so we can walk around. But I'm tripping out. I haven't done a solo explorer in quite a while. as you guys can tell, so you know I'm not bullshitting, I showed you on the intro too, but it's now 3:05, and we're completely alone. You got a treatment room, bunch of different treatment rooms. I don't think anybody's passed away down in this aisle, in this hallway, but I'm not sure. From the research I did, this was a hospital primarily for seniors, and I know a lot of people have passed away in here. So, I'm not really sure what to expect.
The building is silent except for the crunch of debris underfoot. Empty corridors stretch endlessly, lined with patient rooms still filled with rusted beds and medical carts that look as if they were abandoned in a hurry. The dog moves slowly, his flashlight beam cutting through clouds of dust. Every step echoes too loudly, as if the building itself is aware of his presence. Several times he stops and turns, convinced he's hearing faint footsteps behind him. But each time, there's nothing. Just the cold hum of still air and the uneasy creak of old doors shifting on their hinges.
Got a store here, it looks like. I remember this when it was actually active. I came here when I was a kid. There used to be a couch, and a fish tank right here. That was massive. This is the main waiting room. See, when I first started, before I even started filming, I heard a bunch of noises coming from back down there. So we're gonna have to go over there in a minute and check to see what it was. Alright guys, so I'm just walking up to the second floor right now off camera, trying to find the stairs, and I just noticed I had a burning on my arm, and I got some weird scratch. I don't know if I bumped into something or what, but I got these scratches all up my arm. One's at a really weird angle. Oh, there's multiple. What the heck? Yeah, guys. So needless to say, I'm gonna try to get up to the second and third floor because this is really creepy. And I will talk to you guys when I get up there. Alright guys, I went back and got my backpack because I gotta continue this along on the second and third floor. I don't really trust leaving it there. Look at this room. Look at this. It doesn't turn on. Whoa. Got some med slides. Whoa. Hello? I just walked into a huge cold chill. Thought I heard something back there too, but I'm not sure.
He makes his way upstairs, past darkened wards and stairwells that seem to breathe with the temperature change. The air grows heavier, colder. That's when he notices fresh scratches on his arm, thin and red, drawn at odd angles. There's no explanation. He hadn't brushed against anything, and yet the marks are there. Then, strange sounds emerge out of places they shouldn't, so he calls out, trying to make contact, but the only response is the faint echo of movement deeper in the dark.
The reason I'm so scared, guys, is because so much stuff was happening off camera, I'm not even going to begin to explain it. Because, quite simply, you guys won't believe me if I told you. You know, I'm not going to waste my time if you're not going to believe me. What? You cannot tell me you did not just hear that. Sounded like it was in this first room. If somebody's there, you better call yourself out right now. It was in this room, guys. Wait. See, this is exactly what I mean, guys. This is the type of stuff that was happening on camera that I said you weren't going to believe. I am kind of tripping out. Yeah, I don't get it. If you're here, you better call yourself out. I'm gonna look behind all these doors and everything.
A sudden noise, a sharp cough from one of the rooms ahead is clearly heard. So he calls out, his voice echoing down the corridor, but there's no answer, only the faint sound of something shifting, like footsteps retreating into another room. The tension builds as he moves closer, scanning every doorway, every corner, expecting someone to appear. But when he reaches the rooms, they are empty. The silence that follows feels even more oppressive, as if the hospital itself is holding its breath, waiting for him to make his next move.
I want to keep going, but I'm so scared right now. Alright guys, we're in the main lobby right now, as you can tell. And I kept hearing some weird noises over here before I started filming. And then when I came back down to the lobby, all I keep hearing is noises. I looked around upstairs, did not find anybody that did that cough. But now I hear something down here. I'm back on the first floor. Let's go. This is actually...
On the lower floor, he pauses by the main lobby, where he hears more noises coming from a corner he had already checked. The temperature continues to drop, and even his camera begins to fog. The air feels frozen now, thick and heavy. Each breath comes out visible as fog. Dog decides it's time to leave. He gathers his gear, his heart racing, every instinct telling him that he's stayed too long. As he steps outside, the night feels no less unsettling, only quieter, as though the hospital is watching him leave. It's nearly 3:50 a.m. when he ends the recording, shaken and breathless. He's not sure what he captured that night, whether it was coincidence, a surge of residual energy, or something aware of his presence. But one thing is certain. Being alone in that abandoned hospital changed the way he views the unknown. And somewhere behind those walls, whatever answered him still waits in the silence. And that takes us from haunted wards to haunted rituals. We head into the next clip, to a crumbling home where silence hides something that refuses to stay buried. Silent Home is a Russian YouTube channel dedicated to exploring some of the darkest, most mysterious places on Earth. Hosted by Tim, the channel delves into abandoned spaces, haunted locations, and the paranormal, offering viewers a front-row seat to chilling investigations. Tim, an experienced investigator with a steady hand, leads each journey with an air of calm curiosity, always searching for answers to the unexplained, but never fully prepared for what might come next. In this particular episode, Tim and his companion return to an abandoned house long rumored to be haunted. What begins as a simple exploration quickly escalates into something far more unsettling as they attempt to conduct a ritual meant to enhance their connection with the spirits said to haunt this crumbling residence. This place has been abandoned for years, its history long buried under layers of dust and decay. But for Tim and his companion, this is the perfect location for their next investigation. They've come to conduct a ritual, one meant to amplify their connection to the unseen forces rumored to inhabit the house. As they start setting up, Tim explains that the house has a grim history, a story of a lonely, elderly woman who once lived here, and a fire that consumed part of the home in 2006. It's a simple history, but it feels more like a warning. As they sift through the remnants of the house, they uncover an old, yellowed letter that speaks of the fire and the loss it caused. Tim pauses for a moment, reflecting on the words before continuing. There's a quiet respect in his actions, an understanding that the house is not merely a structure, it's a vessel for memories, both joyful and tragic. Tim's voice lowers as he tells his friend that tonight, they're not just exploring this place. They're attempting to communicate with whatever still lingers in these walls.
Так, сейчас мы начинаем ритуал. Саныч уже подготовил для все необходимое для ритуала. Сейчас мы вот поставили ЕМП, чтобы именно видно было эффект вот этого призыва духа. Точнее, улучшение со связью. Сейчас вот видите, мы вот подготовили. И как видите, я поставил ИМП, и вот как раз она начинает реагировать почему-то. Вот как сейчас.
Да. При том, что мы...
Вот смотрите, даже смотрите сейчас. Свеча дрожит. Или не очень так дрожит. Она тогда и дрожала очень сильно. Ладно, давай, Саныч, начнем.
Так.
Ради вашей же безопасности и дабы не нарушать законы, мы не будем показывать ритуал в ролике.
The room grows heavier with each passing second. Tim sets up the devices, ensuring they are perfectly positioned to capture any paranormal activity. The candle flickers with unnatural force, its flame wavering as if responding to something unseen. And as the ritual concludes off-screen, a thick silence hangs in the air. Tim watches closely as it suddenly spikes, an unmistakable sign that something has shifted. It's clear now. Whatever haunts this place has been stirred, and it is strong enough to make its presence known. Tim's breath catches slightly, his eyes scanning the room, aware that they are no longer alone.
Владелец этого дома, что в 2006 году здесь произошел пожар. Здесь есть кто-нибудь? Ты находишься в этой комнате? Что это было?
Я не знаю.
Что за щелчок?
Я скажу там.
Ты пожилой? Ты пожилой дух? Ух ты, смотри.
Чё? Ничего себе.
Пожилой дух. Я сказал. Куда вам принести этот прибор? Куда вы хотите, чтобы мы принесли этот прибор? В комнату? На стол положили где-нибудь? Или на пол? Вот через прибор вообще. Давай-ка пойдем в комнату, зайдем, может. Короче, этот... Что это вообще было?
The temperature plummets as they move through the house, a chill that seems to emanate from the very walls themselves. The air grows denser, colder, as though the house is holding its breath, waiting for what comes next. Subtle sounds begin to emerge around them, faint creaks from the floorboards, the soft rustle of something shifting in the darkness, just beyond their reach. It's almost as if the house is waking, responding to their presence with quiet whispers that seem to come from the walls themselves. Every sound, no matter how small, seems amplified in the growing tension, each noise a reminder that they are not alone in this place. But the worst was still waiting for them.
Наверное, этот... Хотел поиграть с игрушкой, наверное.
Возможно.
Да уж. Это ж такое?
The atmosphere is charged now, thick with an unseen presence. one that once seemed distant and now is closing in, it's hard to ignore the feeling that they are being watched. This is no longer an investigation. This is a confrontation.
Так, тихонько, тихонько. Да, вот подцепи. Зловещий подвал.
The basement door looms before them, its darkened entrance promising more than just shadows. Tim hesitates for a moment, but only a moment, before he steps forward. The house feels heavier here, as though the very foundation is holding something back.
Сейчас спускаемся в подвал.
Святой.
Что? Я просто не знаю, что сказать, но... Спускайся, сейчас все увидишь сам. Смотрите. Друзья, у нас просто ноль понимания, что это вообще значит.
They descend into the darkness, the air growing colder with each step, and the atmosphere shifts. Now there is no question. Something is here. The whispers that once seemed distant are now close. Too close. Tim pauses, listening to the silence, but the silence is deceptive. It's not empty. It's waiting. And whatever has been awakened is not done yet. But just as the tension reaches its peak, the video cuts off abruptly here, leaving us hanging in the silence of that abandoned house. No answers, no closure, just an empty screen. In a brief statement at the end, Tim promises a part 2 to this investigation, one that will hopefully provide more answers. But to the day of this making, that second part has not been released, so the questions remain unanswered. What truly haunts this house? What did the ritual awaken, and what is it capable of? Was it the house itself, or something far darker, responding to their attempts to communicate with it? I'm curious. What do you think? Could this just be another cleverly staged investigation, or is there something truly unexplainable lurking within the walls of that abandoned house? Let me know your theories in the comments. Now, after awakening something in the ruins of a Russian house, we travel to Mexico, where history itself seems haunted. In the shadows of an old hacienda, the past waits to be seen again. The city Aguascalientes in Mexico, to be precise, a place where history lingers like a shadow. Nestled on the outskirts, an old hacienda stands, crumbling, forgotten, its walls holding secrets of a bygone era. For centuries, these massive estates known as haciendas were the centers of agricultural production during Mexico's colonial and revolutionary periods. Once the homes of powerful families, they now lie in ruins, echoes of wealth and power fading into decay. But some say these places never truly leave. And Alex, from the channel Tierra Muerta Mex, is about to enter one of these dark relics, with a few friends in the dead of night. As he steps across the threshold, the air thickens. A sense of unease grips him, an energy that feels both ancient and alive.
Si se fijan, es un lugar ya como les comentaba que está en ruinas. Un lugar al que han venido muchísimas personas a escarbar en busca de tesoros. Ahora sí.
He's not just exploring a forgotten building. He's treading on ground where many have felt the weight of the past. In the shadows, hidden behind rotting wood and cracked stone, people say they've seen things. Apparitions, shadows that seem to move of their own accord, whispers of those who lived here long ago. And without him noticing at the moment, he had captured some strange sounds already.
Si se fijan, es un lugar ya como les comentaba que está en ruinas. Un lugar al que han venido muchísimas personas a escarbar en busca de tesoros. Ahora sí. Desde que llegamos se siente una vibra un poquito pesada. No les voy a mentir, se siente más ligera que en otras haciendas, pero sí se siente un tanto pesadita. Sobre todo que después de un rato empezamos a escuchar cosas como pasos. No sabemos si era algún animal o algún ruido extra, pero pues esperemos que no sea un vivo.
The air feels heavy as he steps deeper into the ruins. The floor is unstable, the walls cracking, but there's something else, an uneasiness that prickles the back of his neck. Alex pauses. Sounds are heard in the distance, a faint shuffling, a whisper, too soft to be heard clearly, but enough to make his skin crawl. They continued exploring, but little did they know, things were only getting worse. As Alex continues to explore the depths of the old hacienda, the crumbling walls and broken windows reveal the passage of time. The silence is thick, almost suffocating, broken only by the faint creak of wood underfoot and the soft click of the camera. But as he moves through the darkness, something shifts, unnoticed by Alex at the time.
Aquí nos tienes a nosotros. Si se fijan, lo que les comento es demasiado grande este lugar, vean.
In the shadows between the broken walls, a dark figure appears. It's fleeting, almost imperceptible, standing silently between the ruins. For a moment, it lingers, a silhouette that doesn't quite belong, and just as quick as it appeared, it's gone. It isn't until later, when the footage is reviewed, that the shadow is seen. A dark, ghostly presence lurking between the broken walls. No sound, no warning. Just a fleeting glimpse of something that shouldn't be there. And as Alex continues, the atmosphere grows heavier. The shadow, whatever it was, isn't the only thing that made itself known.
Siento una presencia, siento que algo se asoma, siento que algo se quita. Ahorita fue en la puerta de atrás, ahorita lo volví a ver aquí. Está reciando la lluvia, pero todavía está aceptable. Oh, vean esto no lo había visto. Mira, Jorge. Que habite este lugar. Lo invito a que se manifieste. ¿Escuchan cerquitas? Lo invito a que se manifieste. ¿Escuchan cerquitas? Sí. Si no quieres que estemos aquí, puedes hacérmelo saber. ¿Qué se oye? Si es que pareciera como los clásicos gritos de la Llorona. Sí. Hoy, ahora escucha de este lado. ¿Qué pasa? Ay, sentí unos escalofríos bien sabrosos en la espalda.
Strange sounds echoed through the ruins. Low groans, footsteps that seem to follow them, distant whispers that don't belong. Was the place haunted? Or was it something else entirely? No one can say for sure. But the feeling of being watched, of something lurking just beyond sight, is undeniable.
No alcanza a agarrar la luz. Otra vez.
¿Tú que nos está rodeando?
Sí. ¿Dónde estás? Hoy. Yo lo escucho de este lado,
Acá se escucha.
¿Lo escuchan allá? Sí. Súbanse acá.
Acá abajo se oye allá. Uy, ya empezaron los perros.
Okay. En la ribera se escuchan muy frecuentes los lamentos de la Llorona. Pues con razón estamos aquí a medio fraccionamiento de la ribera.
Medio kilómetro.
¿Los alcanzan a percibir ustedes? ¿Alcanzan a percibir esos ruidos?
Ahora se escucha por acá.
Sí, pareciera que nos está rodeando, Tenemos a nuestro pequeño amigo que nos acabamos de encontrar. Diles hola, Manny. Se va a llamar Manny, nuestro amiguito. Vean qué mirada tan escalofriante tiene. No manchen, qué rayos con su ojo.
The atmosphere grew heavier with every step they took, the air thickening with an unsettling presence that seemed to cling to the very walls of the hacienda. When they stumbled upon the doll, discarded, lifeless, it only amplified their discomfort, as though the very place had a dark story to tell. But even with the strange find, they pushed forward, trying to make contact with whatever lingered within these crumbling walls. They called out, hoping for some response, some sign. But nothing came. The silence was suffocating, and the feeling of being watched only grew stronger, pressing on their chests with each passing minute. It was as if something unseen was lurking just out of sight, hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And so, after a tense silence, they made the decision to leave. The weight of their disappointment was palpable. They had ventured in search of proof, hoping for some form of manifestation, some physical connection to the unknown. But as they left, they couldn't shake the nagging sense that they had missed something important. They departed, believing they had encountered only the faintest trace of the haunting presence that haunted the hacienda. But little did they know, something had already revealed itself. The shadow figure, captured unknowingly in their footage, lingered quietly between the walls, just beyond their awareness. The presence had been there all along, watching, waiting, but it had never fully shown itself, at least, not in the way they had expected. The hacienda, once a symbol of wealth and power, now a decaying ruin, holds more than just the fading memories of its former inhabitants. It holds something darker, something that refuses to let go of its past. Alex's exploration serves as a haunting reminder that the boundaries between the living and the dead are thin, and that sometimes what we think we know is only part of the story. Whether it's the restless spirits of those long gone, or something far more sinister, the energy of this place clings to everything that remains, and perhaps that's why it has never truly been forgotten. In the end, it's possible that some mysteries are better left unsolved, and some figures are better left hidden in the shadows. But for those who dare to seek, the truth is never as simple as it seems. And perhaps that is the most terrifying part of all. And with that, we step into Italy's ancient stone halls, where silence feels holy and something unseen still answers. The Italian channel, PDU, Paranormal Detection Unit, is led by Fabio, an investigator known for his calm approach and detailed documentation of haunted locations across Italy. And in this episode, he is joined by a few of his channel's viewers, ordinary people drawn by curiosity and courage as they enter the remains of a cursed monastery. For decades, this place has carried whispers of voices echoing through empty halls, of shadows moving where no light should reach, and of unseen presences that refuse to leave. Tonight, Fabio's goal is not to provoke, but to understand, to see if those stories are true, and if something still lingers here, bound between the walls of faith and fear. The group gathers in the cold silence of the monastery's main hall. Their lights cut through layers of dust and darkness, illuminating broken altars and decaying stonework. Fabio speaks softly, his tone respectful, explaining that they come not as intruders, but as seekers of truth. The air is heavy, filled with the faint scent of damp stone and old incense, a reminder of prayers once whispered here. Every step echoes against the high ceilings, making the place feel alive in its emptiness.
Che c'è?
No, raga, voi non potete capire. Io ho visto una sagoma bianca.
Che c'è?
Raga, era qua così. Qua. Non so determinare se qua o più in fondo, però secondo me non più di qui.
Già.
Io ho fotografato una sagoma bianca.
Ma qua, a questa altezza qui,
Io però l'ho fotografata al piano di sopra, una sagoma bianca si è materializzata. Ho scattato una serie di foto in sequenza.
No, ragazzi, io sto...
C'è qualcosa che si muove di là,
Sì, si muove.
Un pipistrello.
Pipistrello.
Pipistrello?
Allora, diciamo che allora potrebbe essere il pipistrello. Potrebbe.
A pale, human-shaped outline appears at the far end of the hallway, white against the blackness. Cameras flash, and for a moment, the group stands motionless. Fabio examines the photo, the shape still visible in the frame. Whether it's dust, reflection, that bat, or something else entirely, none of them can say. The tension in the air thickens. The monastery feels different now, more awake, more aware of their presence, and it was about to get only worse.
Basta, hai deciso che non ti fai più sentire.
Hai sentito?
Sì.
Magari dobbiamo cambiare stanza.
Vuoi che veniamo in un'altra stanza?
Andiamo in chiesa?
Cazzo, li hai sentiti altri?
Sì, sono dei passi.
Presi. Vuoi che veniamo in un'altra stanza?
Andiamo in chiesa?
Cazzo, li hai sentiti altri?
Sì, sono dei passi.
Presi. Vuoi che veniamo in un'altra stanza?
Andiamo in chiesa?
Cazzo, li hai sentiti altri?
Sì, sono dei passi.
Presi.
And the sounds didn't stop here.
Ragazzi.
Oh.
Bello un sospiro.
Sì. Così.
Sì.
Questo era Stefano.
No, questo è
Mi sta dato
Vuoi che entra soltanto qualcuno di noi? Una persona in particolare? Vuoi che entra soltanto qualcuno di noi? Una persona in particolare? Vuoi che entra soltanto qualcuno di noi? Una persona in particolare?
Each noise felt deliberate, too distinct to be coincidence. The team's flashlights swept across old relics and crumbling walls, their beams trembling slightly with each sound that broke the silence. Fabio tried to remain calm, but the air felt charged, almost oppressive, as though the building itself was aware of their presence. Every flicker of light, every subtle movement in the shadows heightened the unease. By then, it was clear. Something unseen was moving around them, and no one could say whether it was watching, warning, or simply waiting. After regaining their composure, Fabio and the team continued their investigation, setting up different pieces of equipment throughout the monastery. They tested temperature sensors, motion detectors, and other tools in hopes of capturing clear evidence. But beyond a few brief reactions, the building remained largely silent. It was as if whatever presence had revealed itself earlier had now withdrawn, watching from a distance but refusing to engage. When the footage suddenly ends, Fabio mentions that a second part would follow, but it never appeared. To this day, no one knows what truly happened after that night, leaving both his viewers and the team with the same uneasy question. Had the monastery fallen quiet again, or had something decided to stay hidden in the dark? Now from prayers to palm trees, we move into the Philippines, where paradise itself has turned into a ghost story. In the heart of Cavite, a province in the Philippines known for its rich history and haunting stories, lies an abandoned resort. Its once glorious walls now shrouded in mystery and decay. This isn't just any deserted building. It's a place steeped in ghost stories and urban legends, a place where the echoes of its past seem to linger in every cracked tile and forgotten room. Jayski has ventured into these ruins before, alone, at night, with only his camera and a growing sense of unease. His solo exploration only scratched the surface of the many rumors that surround this place, leaving him with more questions than answers. Now, with a group of seasoned explorers, he's returning to find out if the stories are true, to uncover whether the hauntings are just myths or something far more sinister. The resort, once a thriving getaway destination, fell into ruin after years of neglect. Built in the early days of the 90s, it was meant to be a beacon of luxury and leisure. But as time wore on, the guests stopped coming, and the doors were eventually closed. Little is known about the reasons for its sudden downfall, but one thing is certain. Something sinister seems to haunt this place. Something that's driven away even the most daring adventurers. It's been said that the place is cursed, and that those who venture too close risk encountering something that shouldn't be here. As the group enters the resort, the atmosphere shifts. The air feels thicker, heavier, as if the building is holding its breath. The silence is thick, interrupted only by the faint creaks of the building settling under the weight of time. It's as though the entire place is watching them, waiting for them to make their move. They begin to set up their equipment, the spirit box, the EMF meter, and other tools of the trade, ready to communicate with whatever might be lingering in the shadows. But even before they start, they can feel it. The sense that they're not alone.
Magandang gabi po. Magandang gabi na. Umaga na pala, no? Magandang umaga. Umaga na. Dos na eh. May iba po ba kami kasama rito maliban sa aming apat? Pwede ba kayong lumapit sa amin?
Maya-maya lang ay unti-unti nang may nadedetect na frequency ang EMF meter na dala namin.
Oh, ayun po, palo oh. Dito na wala. Wala? Oo nga oh. Palo. Oh. Tulong po, parang gano'n. Pwede pagalawin yung ghost ball. Para sa amin. Okay, magpatulog kayo, patulogin niyo yung mga gamit, equipment.
Dito na rin ako nagtanong kung siya ba ang nagpapakita sa lugar na ito.
Ikaw ba yung nagpapakitang white lady dito? Pwede ka bang lumapit sa amin ngayon? Babae, no? Boss babae, no? Ayun o. Diba?
The team calls out, asking if there are any spirits in the resort. The spirit box crackles to life, and a faint voice emerges. The temperature drops suddenly, and the group exchanges uneasy glances. There's no mistaking it now. Something is here, something unseen, something that is reaching out to them.
At dito na nagtugma ang mga sagot sa amin ng spirit box.
Tulong. Tulong? O parang nagtulong.
Bakit yung tulong? Ano nangyari sa'yo? Ba't tingin ka ng tulong? Nasa harapan ka ba namin? Tagiliran? Saan? Ano? Nasa gilid ka pa ba? Saan gilid yan? Nasa ka ba? Paranggan ka.
Saan ka banda dito?
The weight of the atmosphere grows even more oppressive as the team continues to ask questions. The walls seem to close in, and every shadow feels like it's hiding something. But they press on, determined to uncover more.
Sabi sa amin dito, meron daw nagpapakitang white lady dito. Ikaw na ba yun? Ikaw ba ito kausap namin?
Sinubukan na rin namin magtanong kung ilan silang nananatili dito.
Mag-isa ka lang bang ano dito? O may mga kasama ka ba?
Ilan kayo dito ngayon? Pakiulit, ilan kayo?
Ilan? Ilan? Ilan daw? Ilan? Hawakan mo naman yung isa sa amin, no? Uy, ano ba? Hawakan. Grabe ka naman, hawakan. Hawakan yung isa sa amin, grabe, binatakbo niya. Pag hindi umawak na yun sa likod.
Medyo iba na ang pakiramdam ni Val sa mga oras na ito. Kaya napagplanuhan na namin na ihinto ang aming investigasyon.
As Jayski asks the spirit box more questions, the responses grow clearer. "Are you the one they call the White Lady?" he asks. The answer is almost immediate. Yes. The hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. The legend of the White Lady, a spirit said to haunt the resort, now feels very real. But what else is here with them? What else has this place held on to in the years since it was abandoned? The group pressed on, but the atmosphere shifted. What had begun as curiosity now felt increasingly like caution, as the presence around them grew stronger and more oppressive. The answers they received from the spirit box were cryptic, unsettling, the air thickening, the temperature dropping, every whisper and shadow weaving together a sense of foreboding. The strange sounds seemed to close in on them, echoing off the decaying walls, and the weight of the place grew heavier with every step they took. It became clear, the rumors they had heard were not just stories. The few clear answers they had received, the unmistakable voices, the sudden drops in temperature, the overwhelming presence in the air, confirmed that the tales of hauntings surrounding this abandoned resort were rooted in something real. The line between the living and the dead was undeniably thin, and in this forsaken place, they could feel it. As the team left the site, the oppressive atmosphere lingered. Their minds were heavy, weighed down by the strange encounters and the unsettling certainty that something ancient and restless still resided here. They had come seeking answers, and though many questions remained, they now carried a truth far more chilling than they had expected. This place was haunted. Whatever waited here was not ready to move on. The mystery lingered, a constant presence in the walls, a haunting reminder of what had been and what would never truly be left behind. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.